There I am. Okay. What is up, everybody? It is Thursday, and I thought it was Wednesday. That's cuckoo. I actually thought today was Wednesday. So I'm like, I got to do my Wednesday live stream. And I was talking to Steve from Bedrock Audio. And what's up, Corey? And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, it's freaking Thursday. And I thought it was Wednesday, so I lost a day. I think when I was on my road trip, we stayed out there on Monday, and then I got back on Tuesday, but I thought I was getting back on Monday. I don't know, man. My head is up my eyes. Um, so yes, welcome everybody. Let's see if we can even get a crowd going here because nobody knows this is Thursday. What's up, Dragnet? Nobody knows that I'm here. Single driver Nirvana. Steve's talking about the video. If you guys didn't see the video from today that I placed, whatever, that I published, the video is really cool, man. It's DIY. What's up, Zig? What's up, Damien? Oaktown is back. Cool, man. I know I haven't heard from my Oaktown bro, man, in a while. I'm glad to see you back, man. And Zig says, hey, from Chi-Town. I was just thinking about you tonight, Ziggy. I was talking to a neighbor like 15 minutes ago, and he was telling me he bought a Toro mower. And I said, oh, wow, you got a good one, man. That's what they use on the golf course. Only reason I know that is from Ziggy. Tommy C knew this was coming. Thanks, man. Okay, Tommy knew. He just had the vibe. That's we're on that kind of a vibe, man, where people can vibe that Mikey's coming live. Harsha, there he is. Harsha, welcome, man. Welcome. Tennessee is full. What, you don't want me there? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You don't want my lovely ass up in Tennessee? I actually really like Tennessee. Hey, Mike, what's up, Dan? Good to see you, man. Good to see all of you all. What was I going? Oh, yeah. So the video that I did today that I posted was, yeah, I know, Don, Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday, bro. That's how clueless I am. I thought it was freaking Wednesday today. I didn't realize it was Thursday, but that means tomorrow's Friday. Woohoo! Steve Schwal, man, dude. Glad you're joining us, brother. This is my Michigan man. Can't remember, Steve. Are you Michigan or are you Wisconsin? I think you're Michigan. You are right. But I don't see Stevie on. Did your buddy get set straight with I got him some PDF schematics of that amp. So hopefully, yeah, you are in Michigan. Schematics of that amp. So I hope he's in good shape there. Caught me relaxing and you came up. Perfect timing. Right on, man. We took acid and started seeing the dead around the same time. We are linked up. That's right, man. We both got the little loose DNA telomere or whatever. Had 2 fleets of Toro mowers from my old landscaping company in Annapolis. Lawn enforcement to serve and protect your lawn. I love that tagline. That's awesome, man. So anyways, I did a video today on a DIY. So what I decided to do to give a nod to the DIY folks out there, because it's not my gig anymore. I went through the whole DIY thing and I did it. Big John used to come over every Friday and Friday we'd have sushi and then we'd come back and we'd squirrel out on hi-fi till the wee hours of the morning. And just doing projects. And that's when I did all those Magnapan rebuilds and all that stuff, man. And I was building speakers. I still have a ton of speaker building stuff. I got a bunch of cool drivers. I collected some kick-ass drivers. Anyways, so Derek, a chiropractor, my local chiropractor guy, we started talking about audio. I don't know. He asked me what I did. We started talking about audio, and then he told me that he made speakers and he used to make speakers and blah, blah, blah. And he's really into it. I was like, holy shit. So he told me he's working on a new project. And then it was finished. He did some other wood things and they were okay. But then he did this thing. And I was like, oh, that thing's killer, dude. It's totally different than anything I've seen. The Cobra, super cool. and different, easy to build, cheap to build, right? It's PVC. You can buy all this stuff. It's plumbing, it's toilets, you know, whatever, you know, sewer stuff that you get at Home Depot, man. All you need to do is buy your drivers from Parts Express. Everything else is Home Depot. And you don't have to paint it. He did a good job painting it, but if you don't paint it, it's a lot less time, right? And aggravation. They're going to be white, and probably you'll see where the purple, you know, shit is, where you see where you put the, you know, put them together or whatever. So yeah, so that's super cool. And $400 or less, you know, to build your own speakers, to build some hi-fi speakers. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, so that was a great video. Hope you all caught it. And anyways, what was I going to say? I've been kind of in a funk. I probably, you know why I lost yesterday, dude? I realize it. It was a Charlie Kirk thing. Charlie Kirk threw me into a spin, man. I was out of it yesterday. That's pretty heavy duty, man. I'm not going to go into the whole conversation about it, but you know, God rest his soul. We're at a turning point where there's assassinations happening because of people's political their opinions, you know, and this was an assault on freedom of speech. I think the Democrat Party took a big hit yesterday, a really big hit, especially when you see the people cheering for his death, Democrats cheering for his death. It's like, what a shitty party to be associated with, you know? I've got some great people, some people that I love. Look, I came as a Democrat, you know, I mean, I was when I was young, that was my party, but it got hijacked. And now they're like killing people, you know, and, you know, they tried to take out Trump. They ended up taking out Charlie. It's not a cool party. And it's sad, but anyways, that screwed me up. So that's why I was shot out. But anyways, we'll get back to audio. Robert asks, have I heard of Oswald Mill? Yes. OMA. Absolutely heard of them. Yes. So, Corey, dude, stop polluting. Just say something or don't, you know. Charlie's news messed me up bad too, brother. I canceled my plans for the night too. Glad you're back. Yeah, man. I mean, I talked with Steve, my buddy. We're all kind of fucked up. I got a text from my buddy in California, one of the tribe members, Dave, and he was like, dude, I'm all fucked up over this Charlie thing. It's there he is. There's Dave, man. You emailed me or texted me last night, man. We're all fucked up over the Charlie deal. Cable risers, yeah, they're cool, man. Yeah, absolutely. Don't spend a lot of money on them, you know, but get them off the carpet, get them off the concrete or the slab if you're on a slab. It helps, you know. So yeah. So let's see some other news. What other news do I have? Well, I've got something in the works for you guys. Remember I told you about MoFi killers. I've been working on it in the background. I've got other people actually working on it. And I went and tuned, which was yesterday. I went there yesterday. That's why it was, because yeah, yesterday was filled with so many things, and then I got the Charlie news. But anyways, I went for 5 hours. I sat and tuned. I have the engineers sitting there, and I'm working with them, and we're tuning. We're doing crossover and getting the thing finally tuned. I'll have a product for you guys pretty quick, and some and these are things that I'm doing for the entry level. Like, you know, I mean, all my sales are people that are spending 50 to 100,000 on their audio system, and some of them more. But I also want to bring some things. Okay, so so yeah, so 5 hours yesterday of tuning this thing that I'm going to bring to you guys that I think is pretty kick-ass. I'm also I've got a video coming out on man, I don't want to give it all away. But remember, we talked about a $7,500 DAC that would have a streamer and a front end and a volume control. I got something for you guys, and the video will come out soon. So yeah, Dave, I know it's crazy. Charlie and I attended the same high school. Did you guys really? Oh, that's right. He's from Chicago. Yeah. Those cobras remind me of Super Mario Brothers if you paint the pipe screen. Nice. Maybe you can do it, man. You can have the first pair of Mario Brothers. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't have a topic because I just realized that it was like, oh shit, I got to do my thing. And then I was like, oh my God, it's Thursday. Holy shit, I better. And then instead of blowing it off, I just said I'm going to do a video. Wheeling High School. There you go. So what's it? Well, you're not in the city, so I was going to ask you: is there like the? Do you see the National Guard? Are people talking about it at all, or is it not even a thing? Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, the world is a crazy place. The world is a crazy, crazy place. Anyways, I think I've got a guy coming to get those Eggleston Works, one of the tribe members. I got something else too, you guys, that I have to start making videos. I've got to actually start documenting all the stuff that I have that I'm going to sell. People call me and ask about what I've got on hand, and I end up giving them retarded deals because all the stuff that I have is like, it's over, I've overgrown my house, quite honestly, with the business. And I just took a picture today because someone asked. I'm going to show you real quick. I've got these things, these line arrays. They're 6 feet tall. They're made in they have a beautiful like swamp ash finish, and made by Grande Notte of Italy. They are $35,000 line arrays. The coolest thing about them is that they are high efficiency. You can see right here, it's called the Mach 8 XL. Look at that, 98 dB. And they go 19 to 20K, handmade in Italy, 8 ohm speakers. So if you guys know what this means, 8 ohm, 98 dB, this is tube heaven, baby. This is absolute tube heaven. And they're $35,000. First 15K can take them. Again, let me show the picture. The first 15K can own a world-class high-efficiency tower that you can power with tube amps, like little tube amps. Like they don't even have to be big. You could power that with 25 watts, So holla at a brother if anybody wants some of those. Mikey, you don't need a topic. Fam, just chop it up with the tribe. That's what I do. That's basically what I do. I can come on and we figure stuff to talk about. Yeah, not right, Rach. Those are pretty cool, cool speaks. I think you mentioned in the past you have a Roland 625 in a box. I do. If yes, could you compare that to the 555? Definitely more powerful. It's twice as powerful. So it's twice as powerful. I think Jeff considers it the best stereo amp he's ever made. It's Class AB. Sonically, they're going to be similar. With the 555, it's a different circuit topology. It's a little bit different, but the 625 is really quite a masterpiece. If you want that, Tommy, it's got your name on it, brother. It's only like it's essentially the same price as the 5. Whoa, this thing, what's happening with my keyboard? It's essentially the same price as because this one that I have was before, everything's gone up now, but the 625 that I have is It was the last one he ever made. It's the last one off the line. And pretty sure I had him sign it on the inside. It's only if that were being produced today, it'd be 25 grand. This one's like, I'd sell it to you for 17 and a half. So it's like 1,000 more than what the 555 is, but I probably told you I'd sell you 555 for 15 for the one that I have. So $2,500 difference for twice the power. I still put those 555s with 670s, and they kick ass. Like, there's no shortage of power with the Fisher and Fishers with the 555, but you'd have double the headroom, Wow, they are tall. Yes, they are. They're beautiful speakers, man. I mean, it's a real mother effer of a speaker, I mean, it's a world-class line array, man, and they're so sensitive. They're 8 ohms and 98 dB. That's ridiculous, dude, for something that big. It's crazy. So they're perfect for tube amps. They would go great with a pair of the like, I've got some 40-watt single-ended triode nat audios that would be phenomenal with those speakers. Harsha, going to New York show. See you at Capitol. I'll be at Capitol. I'm not really fired up about New York. I could really give two shits about that show. I might end up, and it's not New York. I hate that they call it New York. They should call it shit-ass New Jersey, because it's in a shit-ass place in New Jersey. So they should call it the shit-ass New Jersey show. If they really want to be proper, and they really want to tell us where it is, to call it New York is bullshit. It's not New York at all. You're not gonna, it's shit-ass Jersey. Newark, holy shit. And the place too, it's like, whatever. They did it because they profit better, if they go in a cheap hotel. Lampesator is dropping $100,000 DAC. Will playback get into the cost no object? No, because it's that is contemptuous, I mean, it's contempt. It's it's just, I know Lucas, man, and I know Fred, and I know Rob, and I really love those guys, man. And it seems like they sold out. They sold out for people that want that shit. So there's no fucking way in a million years. First of all, any DAC is worth 100,000. And then I know how Lampesators are built. And I'd love to see it. Just, let's see. And I don't think they even are going to even be trying to say that they even think it's worth 100 grand. They're probably going to say, if I talk to them, I know exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say, people wanted it. People wanted us to buy. We made the $60,000 one, and they still wanted more. So they're selling out. What I see it is, they're selling out. They're going against what they really, their roots, which was DIY. Lucas started out as a DIY guy, man, and he made mods, and he showed people online how to do these mods. And then he started making cool stuff, and it was all very DIY. It was mounted on, you open up your Lampesator, and it was on he'd have a chassis with a piece of wood, and everything was mounted to the wood, and flying wires everywhere. And they used Socris, somebody else, they'd buy an off-the-shelf TAC module and put it in, and then they made this magic tube output stage, which was crazy. It was great because Lucas is a tube audio circuit guy, right? He can make cool tube audio circuits. So to have them go to $100,000, it's like, oh, really? You're going to go with those guys? You're going to be one of the douchey, expensive, retarded guys, It's just sad to me. I love those guys. And then, again, it's like, I don't hate the player. I hate the game. They're playing the game, and it's a fucking stupid game. It's going to kill hi-fi. When cool brands like them go up into the stratosphere, you become an elitist thing. Only the elite are going to buy your shit. and you're in a group of whatever dudes that aren't even, it's just sad to me. It's sad to me. So whatever. It's like the higher Lampezator goes in price, the less the less serious I take the brand, and the less you'd think it would be the opposite. Oh, they got $100,000 DAC. You should really take them serious. It's like, no, I know exactly who they are, and I know their designs. And if they're making $100,000 DAC, I know that they've sold out. I know that they're just going after the fucking money. It's like a hooker, and again, I love the guys, but it's like they're selling their pussy to the highest bidder is what they're doing. Somebody wants to pay more, they're going to put their ass in the air and just make the thing. Whatever, I guess, take the money if you can get it, take the money. If there's people that are demanding that they want that, then make it. But something is lost. The what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? You know what I mean? The purity is lost. Not the purity, but the innocence is lost. It's like the innocence is lost. Now they're a high dollar hooker, and their connection with the real world is just getting further and further away. I don't know. I don't think Playback won't do that. Playback has way more integrity than that. They won't do it. Playback has a DAC that I will put up against anything else. I don't care what DAC it is. I'll put it up against the $260,000 Varese, and it's $26,000. People buy it and they absolutely know they got their money's worth, so I don't know. I don't like that. Could my 3.7 Model X Maggies benefit by using your silver upgrades? Yes, of course they can. Although I'm at a point where I don't think I'm going to make them anymore. It's too much work, and it's $160 each one, and it's like, and then I have to go out and take these things and polish them and cut them and bend these things. By the time I'm done, my thumbs are all jacked, from bending the little horseshoes, and it's just like it's a lot of work for $150 sale. It's and then it's a lot of shipping and whatever. It's just look, once you start selling things that are $25,000, $35,000, there's a time probably when any company starts out where they work and they'll make things for hundreds of dollars, because it's survival. Like, you need those $100 sales, and then there's a point where you're like, it's not even worth the effort for $100 sales. It's too much logistics. The shipping, it's not even worth it to have to do the shipping and take the money and do the shipping. I know that sounds weird, but that's where it is. For me, it's like I just focus on the other stuff, and then I can do a couple sales and then go travel. I don't have to work. But to do $100 things, you got to work every day, and I'm not into working every day. I like a work-life balance. Cheers, Mikey. Cheers, Bob. How are you, buddy? AES show used to be in Javits Center. Is that the same place? I have no idea. I just know somebody that lives in Jersey that's been in Jersey their whole life, and this is near them, and they're like, that place is a piece of shit. They should have gone to Meadowlands. And I don't know what he means by Meadowlands. It's obviously not the arena, but there must be a conference center or something in Meadowlands. On a more positive note, had a beautiful and healthy 7-pound, 1-ounce baby girl on the 10th the other night, baby Cora. No way, buddy. Congratulations, man. I had no idea, dude. I didn't know your wife was preggers. That's awesome, dude. And so you have 2 or 3 kids now? Yizzle. I would never pay more than $3,000 on a DAC. Right. So, I mean, imagine $100,000 DAC, you know? I mean, you're really just it's desperation to be I see it as desperation to be a player. Like, oh, we got to be a player. We're gonna be big dogs. We're gonna be the big dogs. Let's make $100,000 DAC. But fuck it, you know. I mean, look, if people are willing to pay you to be $100,000 DAC, you know, then fuck it. Make a $20,000 DAC and fucking charge them 100 grand and take their goddamn money. You know, if that's what they want, take their fucking money. I guess, you know, from Lampazator's standpoint, I understand the move. Okay. But from my standpoint and like looking holistically at the market, I don't like the move because I don't think it's good for the marketplace. Um, what it does is it falsely inflates the market. It falsely inflates it. It falsely makes people think that 100,000 is commonplace. People coming in that had not seen our industry will see $100,000 DAC and they'll turn the fuck around and bail. And they'll be like, fuck, this stupid hobby is a bunch of fucking idiots, you know? Um, it's either DIY shit on one end or $100,000 shit. What you don't understand, or maybe you do understand it, is the middle area is getting eviscerated. So there's more. I guess it makes it better for me because that's where I operate. I operate in the sweet spot. So they keep doing this higher shit. It makes it easier for me to sell $26,000 DACs. You know, I'm buying them now a dozen at a time, and I sell out. You know, so I guess keep it up. And I understand it from their standpoint, you know. I mean, I would too. If I was in their shoes, I would do the same thing. If some bozo's telling me that they want to pay me $100,000 and my capability is a $20,000 DAC, but they keep telling me that they want something more, fuck it. I'll put gold inside it. I'll put fucking crystal knobs made out of Waterford cut crystal on the front. I can, sure, man, fluff it. I'll turn it into a, you know, whatever, you know, what do they call those cars that are like that I can't stand? Pagani, you know, it's like a fucking Fendi purse inside this car. It's like, dude, what kind of a fembot car is this thing? I know it's hyper intense and all that shit, but you look inside and it's so blingy and glammy and femmy. It's like, dude, this is not macho at all. It's like, it's expensive, but it's a girl thing. That's what it look like to me too. It look like a purse, like a Fendi or something, some Italian purse, handbag or shoes or jewelry or whatever, you know. So tell me why it's 100 grand, you know, but you know, that's the way my mind works. But they're just going to be like, it doesn't fucking matter. We don't need to prove anything because people want it. It's 100 grand because we said it's 100 grand, but it just does nothing for, you know, it does nothing for the market. It just kills what's happening. What I see it as is everybody sees the end of the market. Everybody sees this shit is crashing and they're doing the last grasp for money before they can't fucking sell anymore. They're just trying to do the last pump on the chump, you know. It's like, let's do the last pump before this shit's over, because as soon as you get AI fucking designing audio and shit like that, and as soon as the Chinese are using AI to figure out how to make shit sound natural, you know, and then they do it for cheap, you know, I guess there's still going to be those one or two guys that are the billionaires, but you know, they're going after the billionaires. Okay. You know, it's all good. I mean, I understand it from their standpoint, and I would do it too. Shit, man, if you still have that 625 in 2 or 3 months, we should talk. Okay. Congratulations, Joe. Yes, man, congrats. F you don't know who shot him. Fucking Democrats, you know. Javits Center is in Manhattan, huge glass building. Oh, okay, so that's cool. Yeah, so that's cool. But that's not where they're having it. It sounds like a cool place though. Thanks, Mikey. My wife said he is serious, and we all agree. Do you have a solid state amp you are considering for the big fishers? Um, um, yes, I do, but it's not here yet. It's not here yet. It's going to be the Playback Designs solid state amp. It's not here yet. I mean, we could put a a Roland on each side, a 555 on each side, and it would be great. But I like to keep it simple. If we do that, then we need active crossover. You know, so and I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to expand. I'm not going to go into what the typical industry people like to do, which is give you a huge rack and 50 different, things on it. Like, oh, we want a quad amp and have 4 amps per side and the active crossover and just all the cables and all that crap. And you need all this stuff and more. It's not, I'm going the other way. I'm going to sell stuff where it's less. You know why? Because I will get more sales from doing that. These people are all chasing the billionaires. I'm not doing that. I'm going into the middle where people fail to sell. People do it you got one group of guys selling on the low end, and then you got one group of guys selling in the retarded end, and then you got me right in the middle. And there's very few of us. If I don't even know anybody else that specializes where I do. There's got to be 100 times markup in parts on a Lampy DAC. Yeah. I mean, that's not what, again, my problem is necessarily, because they have somebody that's going to buy it. I think it's bad for the industry because of the dollar amount of the DAC. I just don't think it helps the industry any. It helps them. And so from their end, I would do it if I was them too. Because typically what happens, they wouldn't make that unless they had buyers. So that means people are asking for it. So they're going to go ahead and do it because everybody else did it, right? First was Wadax. Wadax was the first one to do $165,000 DAC. They were the first ones to go over 100 grand. And then DCS followed up with, I think, Vivaldi Stack and whatever, and that went a little bit over 100. And then came the DCS Varizi for 265. They kicked Wadax in the balls and just like added 100 grand onto what Wadax was doing and said, no, you're not the big dick. We're the big dick. And then I think isn't MSB also come up with one that's over 200. So it's not, I don't know. It's good for them, good for them, buy an airplane, buy a sailboat, have fun. Why not? People are going to pay for it. Do it. I'll party with them, make it pretty with meters. No way, Harsha. I've never put meters on any of the amps that I've made. And I don't like meters. No ethics. They know they can make it sound great for far less money. Gaudio. Yeah. I mean, they're selling out for the money, and I understand why. And I will be 100% honest with you. I would do it too. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? If somebody wanted to pay you that kind of bread, why wouldn't you do it? Now it kills the market, and it's not good. I think in many ways for the middle of the market, which is where I operate. That's why I don't like it, because I operate in the middle. And I'd like to see the middle flourish. But I guess in a weird way, now that I'm talking about it, it's better that they do that, because it just makes my part of the market more juicy and just a better value. It makes they give me sales, because if everybody does $100,000 DAC and I got a $26,000 one that's as good or better, and people pay attention, then I'll sell more than I can get. Your cables are too much work too, it seems. No high-end cables by Mikey. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude. You try sitting on a bench and breathing solder and doing all that shit. Yeah, it's for and that's a little different. That's for $1,000 here and $1,000 there. And that's not even still worth it. I'm not going in and breathing lead smoke for $1,500 here, $1,500 there. It's not worth it. Nope, I'll stick to what I'm doing now, and it's just better, you know. Um, so let's see. Can you get Lucas on for discussion? Sure. Yeah, I think so. As long as he thinks I'm not going to, and I wouldn't. Lucas is a buddy, you know. I'm not gonna shag his brand, and I won't put him on the spot. You know, I'm not gonna say prove to us why it's worth 100 grand. I'm not gonna be that guy, you know. But I'll say tell us about your $100,000 DAC and tell us what you did, man. Tell us why you guys did it, and I know what he'll say. He'll say people wanted it, and so we made it, and so it'd be cool to find out. Mal Capone, what's up, buddy? This is our tribe. Hilo. He doesn't like it when I call it helos. That's fucking Vietnam terminology, or choppers. Vietnam call it. It's an aircraft. It's a freaking helicopter. Mal Capone is our helicopter pilot, and man, he sent me the most kick-ass video of nighttime flying over Manhattan the other night. Malcolm goes between Manhattan. He flies billionaires between Manhattan and Connecticut, and it's cool shit, man. This is the guy that took me across the U.S. Remember that helicopter trip? I was with Malcolm, and it was great, man. He gave me the bug. Now I'm like, man, if I ever get a whole bunch of dough, I might just learn to fly a helicopter for fun, not to do it as a job, but for fun. Or I'd just hire Malcolm, man. I'd say, dude, come on, let's go. Hey, Mikey, Charles, man, long time no talk to you, brother. Still loving my 570s and your Donizetti amp and your audio analog DAC. Good, man. Charles is up in Carolina, and South Carolina, right? And enjoying his setup. Man, Charles came and listened, and he was like, I'll take it. He sat down and listened for a second, and he was like, I'll take it. It was that easy. I mean, that's what Fisher and Fisher's like. It wasn't like I didn't have to sell. It's just sit down and listen, man. I mean, that's how these speakers are, and the stuff that I pick. I mean, when you talk to the manufacturers, you do great. No, not stirring shit. No, I don't. That's right. I mean, I have respect for them. I'm more liable to talk shit when I'm just talking about it. But then again, I mean, you hear, I don't like that. I don't like the game. Whenever I talk shit, and it's because I don't like the game. I never have anything against the player, right? That's not the player. I don't like the game. The players are my buddies, and I know them, and I get along with them, and I understand it, and I get why they do what they do. And look, if somebody was like, Mikey, make me cables for 100 grand, and they really wanted it, dude, I'd be stoked. I'd be like, okay, no problem. Then you'd see Mikey's the guy with freaking $100,000 cables. And dude, I'd be laughing at the bank, bro. I'd be like, whatever. These guys wanted to pay me. I made it for them. I put all this shit, whatever. I made it with one-off handmade, yada, yada, whatever. It eviscerates the middle section of the market. It turns our hobby into something that is unrealistic for most people. So that's why I don't like it, because it makes it unrealistic. It turns it into, I mean, what could we compare it to? Like, what's unrealistic for most people? High-end watches, maybe, something like that. Exotic cars, maybe, and look at exotic cars. Look at who, some people are purists about it, but then you got all these squids that just get them because they can show them off, So, yeah. Got my liter of water. I'm gonna chug a liter of water while I'm talking with you guys. All right. So, what else? Yeah, most of the things that I'm thinking about, I just have to do videos. I can't share with you, but I'm always working, man, on designs and stuff like that. I don't want to be on the bench, and that's not going to happen. But I've got eventually you will see the things come together. It's like, I'm a one-man show, and I've got the business set up where I can operate as a one-man show. And in order to go above this, I disrupt my lifestyle. I disrupt my lifestyle. So it's like I'm kind of sitting here going, do I go for the gold ring? Because I know where that is and I know how and what I would do. But if I do that and I go for the gold ring, which is means go for being a hard player, um, I give up my lifestyle, and my lifestyle is very enjoyable right now. And I worked hard to create a lifestyle where I'm like this, where I don't have to stress, and I'm not working my ass off every day. It's very nice, and I don't have a boss. I don't have anybody to answer to. I don't have investors to answer to. I've created my own life, and I value what I have, my peace of mind, and just nice work life balance. And if I go and do all this stuff, get the cables, get it, do all this stuff, get it all, man, it's just going to be like one thing after another, management. And then every day I work my ass off. And then what happens? Then, one day I'm on my deathbed and I'm like, well, all, what for? Did I make any memories? What are my memories? Oh, I remember all the work I did. That's really not. I'd rather remember travel or and dinners and friends that I met and things that I saw and experiences that I had. So that is more valuable to me than work. You know, some people just, I don't know. They just they're it's like a death grip for thank God I don't have kids. I don't have so I don't have to leave any legacy to anybody. I don't have to make a bunch of of things available for my kids when they grow up. I can spend it all, and if I'm successful, I will have spent it all, or hopefully I have so much that I can't spend it all. But then I'm not, I'll give it to my nephew or something like that, my brother's kid, or who knows what'll happen. But it's like it's nice to not have to throttle myself. You know, makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, right? At some point you just wonder, I remember my earlier years when I was just, man, I had like the death grip. I call it the death grip on outcomes of things. Like I thought I could just will everything to happen in life, and every day it was like I was a pit bull biting life and just shaking it and just trying to do every little thing I could. I had every so many different things going at the same time, and just and I was totally unhappy. I was stressed out. I was unhappy. I was unsatisfied. And peace of mind and satisfaction and serenity is like, you can't put a price on it. You just can't put a price on it. Then what? To get some house that's like freaking a mansion, some sort of castle somewhere, and that where my electricity is $300 each day. I heard, what's his name, Pena, whatever that millionaire guy is, Robert Pena, is that his name? The real hard ass kind of old man, fatty dude, who wears the three-piece suits and looks like the guy on Monopoly. But and he's like, yeah, my house, I've got a 50,000 square foot castle, in Scotland, and it is $150 each day for electricity and $150 each day for, what was the other thing? Water? My water bill and the electrical bill. Oh no, the gas bill and the electrical bill. So he was like, so to have the house, it's $300 a day, or like 320 each day, just to have a roof over my head, and that's not the half of it. With a $50,000 place, you got to have a staff. You have to, and just think about managing all that shit. Then you have to have people managing it all for you. And it's just like, then what? Then all that shit owns your ass, So you keep seeing this whole thing. I mean, it's like you go on YouTube and it's all about, you know, being a millionaire, being a millionaire, being a millionaire. I think it's just like, man, how about like finding peace? You know, that's probably more important. So I think I'll continue to do scuba trips and like all that other shit and motorcycle track days and whatever. Hey, Mikey, what other, except for playback designs, DACs manage without a preamp? The ones that convert everything in DSD. What do I think about Grand DS DAC? Have no idea. Never heard about it, bro. So Meitner does it. So Meitner does that. And PS Audio both do that. What you're talking about. They have the same, they do a similar thing. I mean, it's very basic, same thing. Convert to DSD, convert everything coming into DSD and then decode in single bit. That's done by many different brands, but just because you do that does not mean that it's sounding anything like playback designs. It's like saying, you know, how many other cars do you like that have a V8 supercharged engine? You know, it's like, well, okay, there's like 5 different companies that do V8 supercharged, and they're all going to be different, you know. They're just because they have the same, they are DACs with a volume control that convert. It doesn't, nobody can sound like playback so far. PS Audio sounds nothing like playback. Meitner does not sound like playback. You know, so yeah, so and I don't know about any unheard of brands. Ride the wave, Mikey, but don't get complacent. Definitely not complacent. I'm definitely not complacent. No, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you what. I'll get complacent once I have 10 million in investments. Once I got 10 mil, you know, working for me, I'm out. You guys won't see me. I'll come and talk and do. I'll do videos about all the shit that I'm doing. But I think 10 mil will be I'm good. You know, it's just me and my woman. That's enough. You know, so it's not. I don't think that's that hard of a goal. I think it's very realistic. And then at that point, you've got your investments make you enough. You make enough money. You know, if you make 10%, you're making $1 million a year. So if you got 10 million in the market or 10 million in investments, it's not that hard to make 10 points. Okay. You get $1 million a year to live off of. You think I could live off $1 million a year, two of us traveling? Yeah, we could. So once there's 10 million in investments, I'm out. That's all there is to it. So and then I'll be complacent. Then but I'm not going to be complacent. I'll be doing a lot of activities, you know, but work doesn't have to be one of them. I know. Rest in peace, Charlie. So uncool, man. I'm like at a loss for words. It is a very significant point in time right now. This whole this is a it's a turning point. It's a milestone. It's like it's you know, this is just a dude that went out and talked about stuff and just had his opinion, and you would just debate, you know, and he was always respectful, you know, and you know, it's a turning point. It's a turning point. You know, followed up by this creep on the frickin' subway, cutting that you know, some dude that had been, you know, arrested and let go, arrested and let go, arrested and let go. There's some shit going down. There's some shit going down. The you know, National Guard is being moved into big Democrat cities. You know, it makes you wonder, are they planning for civil unrest? What are they, why are they positioning the National Guard in certain areas? They've been positioned, you know, and they're probably, after Chicago, will go one by one to other. They're getting prepared for something, man. They're getting prepared for something. That's what I think, you know. We've been tricked into believing happiness is always dependent upon large amounts of money. That's it. That's it. And look, like, you know, if you don't have money, right, and you're broke, then it's suffering. There's no question about that. But once you have all your basic needs met and you have a little bit extra to, like, maybe go out and eat or go to a movie and do things, then your happiness is in your mind, right? As long as the stress is gone. If you don't have the stress to pay the bills and the bills are paid, Um, but then the extra shit to have, like, I want a yacht and I want an airplane and all that kind of stuff. Um, I've just seen too many stressed out people that I just look at it and I'm like, man, they don't look happy. They don't look happy. There's more to life than things. When you're on your deathbed, it's not going to be about the things that you acquired. You're not going to be like, that's not going to be important, and it'll come to them, and then they'll be like, oh yeah. So I mean, for me, I don't think I'm going to be on my deathbed proud of the things that I was able to acquire. I think it will mean nothing. And I'll be thinking, oh God, how did I make a difference in this world? How did I touch people's hearts? How did I help people? How did I make the world a better place? Those are going to be the things that I will feel like I've accomplished something. So, what about M Labs? Better than Meitner? Yeah, it's a higher level. It's the same company, and the M Labs is their premium products. Ride the wave as long as you can. Yep, exactly. And then while you're riding the wave, you sock money into XRP. Danny knows, and other things wherever we're socking our money into investments. Oh, look, you just say right there the next time. Yeah, man, throw 100 into XRP, man, and you should be good. You should be good. Is the CZEC Model 1 a good garage speaker? I don't even know what that is, brother. Vintage speaker for sure. I got no idea, man. I like the old clips. Heresy is a great garage speaker. You can hang those from the ceiling. They used to hang them in clubs and shit like that. You just hang them in. 10 million and you're good. Awesome. Live your best life, brother. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be good with 10 mil? I mean, do you need hundreds of millions? That's the other step. The other step, it's either, 10 mil or, you're going after 100 million, and 100 million seems like my life. In order to claw for 100 million and try and get there's a lot that goes along with that. I mean, look at Elon Musk, right? The guy's a billionaire, but look at, does the guy even imagine his quality of life must be insane. The guy never sleeps. He's at 100% all the time. Think of the stress. Think of his brain getting just wrung out like a freaking just ringer, dude. All that shit that you have to think about, all that stuff you have to oversee, the heavy duty things, the media wanting to slaughter you, the people, all this shit, you know, it's just, it does not look enjoyable to me. I would not want to be Sam Altman. I would not want to be Zuckerberg. I would not want to be Elon Musk. I would definitely not want to be Donald Trump. I would not want to be any of those guys. It doesn't look fun to me. It looks like that would suck. Yes, they're rich, but their life looks like it would suck. Even though they're flying in jets and have everything they want, I wouldn't have peace inside me. It would be too much. It's like overload of too much shit for one human, man. Is it right that the best volume control is transformer based? No, it's just one philosophy. Is it better than resistor based one? Some people will argue. You can argue both ways. Transformer will impart its own sound onto it, and the there, as far as I understand, if it's an autoformer, okay, which is like the Schlegel, thing, they don't add gain. So, for me, a preamp or a volume control, a preamp for sure should have a gain. It should have gain to it. It should be able to bump the signal and juice it, and those things don't, and then the resistor one is the same thing. Resistor based are definitely good, and you want one where it's just one resistor every time. So instead of stacked resistors where you've got multiples, where there's just different values of resistor and you just click and you've only got one resistor the whole time. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want any of that. If my DAC can output a good analog output stage, I don't want anything coloring the sound for my volume control. Money is security. Yeah, it is. And boy, and that's a whole nother topic, right? Like, what is money, right? Is money the green paper that we get, the freaking Federal Reserve note? No, that is debt. That's not money. That has zero intrinsic value. You understand that, right? All we have is the government saying, yeah, I'll give you something for this. This is the government debt, and we pass around government debt. That's not money. What's money? Gold is money. Gold is an asset, or resources. Any sort of resource is really what's valuable. Ammunition, this is money. Medicine, food, water, that's resources. That's what money is. This paper that we trade around and the numbers that we have in our bank account, they allow us to buy things right now, but that's because it's based on trust and no one's pulled the rug out. But the rug could be pulled out. And if the rug is pulled out and all we're holding is paper, we're kind of screwed. So you could say money is security. Real money is security. Government debt isn't necessarily security. It's a tricky world, man. And so diversify. Security is owning shit. Now there's a lot of these rich guys like Robert Kiyosaki that will tell you, don't own your house. I've got 1.2 billion in debt. Like, that's what this Robert Kiyosaki guy always said. I live off debt, It's just I just don't get that, I understand what they're saying is you leverage your house, you get a loan, and then you put the money into the market, and then you make your house note is 5 points and you make 10 points in the market. So you clear 5 points after paying, but you don't own your house. And if you come into financial hardship, the bank will take your freaking house, So I prefer a different, I prefer owning and having assets, What is the best USB galvanic isolation that you know? A transformer, whatever. And it's like, it's, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I'm not a designer. I'm not a circuit designer. But all USB is galvanically isolated. So you're asking me what is the best way to do that? I'm not the guy to ask, We could ask Andreas, when he comes on. And I don't even know that it's important, because let's say you have really great USB isolation, but you've got a shitty USB receiver. So the isolation doesn't fucking matter, It's like, so get your head out of these questions, This is the question a junior engineer asks his mentor engineer when he's trying to design a DAC. Okay. It's not a question an end user asks when they're trying to figure out what DAC to buy. That is a foolish question. Okay. I mean, for fun, we can pose the question and talk about it. But if the purpose for the question is to try and decide, well, I'm not going to buy a DAC unless it has the best USB galvanic isolation, right? It's not the way to decide what you want to buy. And we can mislead you as manufacturers. We can totally mislead you by telling you we've got the best USB galvanic isolation, blah, 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 blah. And then we distract you over here with USB galvanic isolation. Look over here, galvanic isolation. But then we skimp out on the conversion part of the DAC, right? Or we skimp somewhere else. So it's an easy way to get you off in the weeds. So I used to get caught up in all that shit. And over the years, I realized none of that shit matters. What matters is how does it fucking sound? How does it sound, man? And do I connect with the music? If I do, great. Now I can check it off my list. Or if you're if somebody is got neuroses and they're like a crack addict with specifications, then they can go down the rabbit hole and trip out and try and figure out designs and try and put their brain where it doesn't belong. Unless you're an engineer, you shouldn't be asking that question. That's like the bottom line, right? Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that information? You're going to tell somebody that they should have designed their thing better, or whatever. And again, it's a great conversation, but I always tell you guys, get your head out of the engineering, man, You're not a fucking engineer. And even if you are an engineer, fine, but talk to other engineers. Talk to guys that design DACs. Don't talk to me about it. You know, so I used to get into that shit. I used to get all into what chips are the best, what op amps are the best. Oh, Burr Brown OPA 627s, those are the best ones, man. And then I'd take out the op amps. I didn't even care what the freaking voltage characteristics or any of the spec of the chip I was pulling out. I just shove an OPA 627 in there in every socket that I could, thinking that I was going to make it better. So misled. And it's because everybody was talking about shit like what you're asking, in the forums. They were talking, what's the best op amp? What's the best DAC chip? And then it just gets you all confused. And then you get off in the weeds. And, hey, if you want to be if you want your brain to your brain energy to be eaten up by questions like this, then all the power to you. Spend your energy thinking about not important things. The only important thing is, how does it sound? That's the only thing that matters in audio. And then a far second is, how does it look to you? Okay, what does the design look like visually? How does it sound comes first. And then how does it look if you're trying to create some visual masterpiece in your room and you want it all to be chrome, or you want it all to be black, or you want it, then maybe you need to pay attention to the look because you're trying to make a aesthetic design statement, But other than that, it's like, how does it sound? Doesn't matter what's inside. Does not matter. Sent you a brief critique on Chinese garbage monoprice subwoofers and was blocked for sending me where, man? 3 million, and I'm happy to say hello to people. Oh, right. So 3 mil is your number. That's your exit. If you got 3 mil, that's cool, man. I don't know. I think I'd run out of 3 mil. I think it's got to be 10, man. I think it's got to be 10. Remember back in the day, dude, you're like, fuck, $1 million seemed like such a big thing. 100,000 seemed like, I remember being little and knowing like our parents made 100,000 per year. Does your dad make 100,000? Yeah, my dad makes 100 or more, right? But 100 was the mark, right? And it was, we were trying to, size up our fathers. Do they make 100 grand? And now 100 grand is like, dude, it's a freaking car, easy car. Back in the day, there were very few cars that were 100 grand, only the tip top exotics. Now 100 grand, you can in your mind, you can picture how easy that is to spend. Back in the day, I would have never even been able to conceive spending 100 grand and how it would happen. I can spend 100 grand in doing art. If I could spend it in my yard in landscaping. I could landscape do some hardscapes, do some decks and things like that. And I could do 100 grand easy in my yard. And I don't even have a big yard. You could spend 100 grand easy on a couple watches, so it's crazy. Here comes Rev. Yo, Tribe Seattle check-in. Dude, he had $100,000 guitar, electric guitar. So so I don't know. Is Grim Audio at the same level with M Labs? I don't know. I think it's a matter of taste. I know Guido Tent, and I really respect him, and I really respect Grim Audio because of Guido. And I trust them. So I don't know. I've never compared them. M Labs is Ed Meitner. I think Ed is a phenomenal analog engineer. I don't know who does their digital stuff. So I don't know. I think it'd just be a matter of taste. I think, they probably are at similar levels. So how does the volume control work on an MPD 6 and 8? That's a great question for Andreas. It's an analog volume control. I think it's a relay ladder or something like that. It's controlled digitally by, I don't know what, Servo or something like that. It's a digitally controlled analog volume control. That's all I know. And if you're making a DAC, man, and you're like, you're an engineer and you want him. What's really funny is if I brought him if I brought him on and just told him explain it like an engineer, and he'd explain it and you wouldn't understand any of it, unless you're an engineer, which is really how they should. Alberto, I've seen Mark Levin. Mark just says that's a stupid question. Like I've seen Mark Levinson where people just go, where they and it wasn't something, this I can see this, I can understand this as a question. You're just curious as to how the volume control works. But I saw somebody, I can't remember what somebody asked Mark, but I was at a show with Mark, and somebody asked him a question and he just looked at him and goes, that's a stupid question. It doesn't make any sense. It's not important. And I was like, holy shit, he just told that guy he was stupid. And the guy just sat there and was shamed and just like fucking shut up. I was like, wow, I've never seen someone crack a whip on someone like that, but it was crazy. Mama help. I just found out that my right ear is more sensitive. This broke my heart. What should I do now? Well, we could come up with a lot of things. Stuff cotton in your right ear, put a little bit of cotton in your right ear and then listen that way. Get a balance control on your gear and do left bias so that it measures out so you get a center image. That's probably the best way to do it, is just make your left side in your setup, bias it left heavy with your gain, and then it'll balance it out. You just do it until get a song that there's a center image, and we could tell you center vocal image, and then so you're typically going to probably hear it, since your right ear is more sensitive. You will hear what's normally supposed to be in the center. You're going to hear it off to the right. So you just bias your balance off to the left until that image comes to the center, and then you're going to have it set up for your ears. That's the easiest, best way to do it. Just feel the vibe with your equipment. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. How does it sound and how does it feel? Right. That's it, man. How does it sound? How does it feel is the most important thing, because once you become a seasoned audiophile, and once you're playing in the high end and you go and everything sounds good, right? Then it's like, which one makes you feel best? Because after a while, at a certain point, everything sounds great. And then it comes down to which one, how does it feel when I come in here? Because if you go to these shows and you're not seasoned, you're going to go into every room and everyone's going to sound great to you. You're just not going to be able to really tell the difference. The really good ones will stand out, but everything else is going to sound the same to you. What you need to ask yourself is, how does this feel when I'm sitting here? What are my thoughts that are happening? And what are my thoughts? That's like what I started to do. How will the Grande Notte Mach 8 perform with a solid state amp 2? It'll kick ass. It'll be strong and dynamic and punchy, and you're going to barely need to turn your amp up. It's going to just be, it'll be potent. That's how it'll sound. It'll perform in a potent manner. When you put a solid state amp with 200 watts onto speakers like that, you're going to get something that's potent. And you will use a fraction of the volume that you used before, and which is great because you can play it at low volumes and you get a lot of dynamics out of it at low volumes. You don't have to turn it up. Hey, Tommy and Dragnet from Rev. 100K, hell, that'll get you a Ford Festiva and a pack of bubblegum. I know, pretty much, man. Do you use softer or harder wires in your cables? Does it matter for sound quality? It's called annealing. That's exactly what it's called. I use dead soft. Yes. I'm getting I'm a little tired. It's an hour, man. It's an hour and 10 minutes. If anybody's got any burning desires, anything they want to say, go ahead. Get it out now, because I'm going to end this pretty soon. I'm going to go chill. Guess what I found, guys? Remember how I showed you that thing, the other day? Let's remember this pack of cigars. Okay, well, I got it from the place and they had it and it was open already, right? Because it had this. And the truth is this thing had 16 cigars. There is a space in the middle. These things, they went like this and like this. Here's how they went. So there was a space in the middle like that. Oops, let me show you this. Okay, and then there was a big cigar that went in the middle, a special one in its own little box. But the guys at the freaking cigar shop, they cherry picked it, right? And so it was be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the thing looked like let's see, the box looked like this. It was like this, right? Whoops. I don't know if I can do this. I think I can. So it was like there's a space in the middle, and then there's a big cigar in there, the special cigar that you got with this special limited number box. But the guys there, they cherry picked the box, and then they put this out there so they could sell them, and they kept that shit for themselves. Well, I went to some of my secret sources, and I found a completely sealed box. Still, this isn't even the box. This is the cardboard that goes on the outside of the box with the special cigar and everything. This motherfucker's sealed. And this one's going in, and I'm going to age this. And this one's not getting open. I'm going to keep that one sealed. And then I'll smoke all these bad boys and share them with you guys if you come over. So that was pretty cool because that's a limited edition box set. Anyways, okay, everybody. Let's see. What do we got? Mola Mola uses DSP-based conversion for DSD. So I guess it can sound good despite its DSP. Yeah, sure. Mola Mola, a lot of people like that DAC. It is just it's not as natural sounding as Playback Designs. It is, and Tommy, who's watching right now, is going to end up listening to Playback Design, putting a Playback Designs into his system. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to spend his money, but he's close enough to Rev to go listen. And maybe Rev will bring it up to him and they can put it in Tommy's rig so he can compare to Mola Mola. But I've got other guys that have sold the Mola Mola for the playback. They don't sound similar. The Mola Mola is analytical. It's sharp sounding. It's analytical. It's clinical. So some people like it. And I think they sell a decent amount of them, or they did in the day. I don't think they're as popular as they were. They were really sort of a fad at one point. But yeah, they do not sound alike. They do not sound alike. Yep. Okay. So I am going to bid you farewell because I want to go chill. So thanks everybody for joining. It's Thursday. I will be back on Sunday and I'll have a special guest with me on Sunday. So thanks everybody for joining. Come back on Sunday. Same bat place, same bat channel, same bat time. All right. See you.